After that, we got the basic um, action for each character. So you have block, which allow you to withstand enemy and fight for longer without dying. Normally, you would just be blocking, you would not hit the enemy, so don't assume that you're gonna defeat anyone just by blocking. If you put him on block, you're just stalling until the rest of your squad comes in and help you with it. Hold is when you defeat an enemy, some of them try to flee, and you will follow them unless hold was tagged. And I would just suggest that you should never follow any of the enemy if they are trying to flee unless they are alone and it's an open space. Otherwise, you would fall in an ambush easily. And then you have passive. Passive is great inside cities. So let's say that I accidentally attacked one of the guards in the city. If passive was on, then the rest, like for example, I attacked them with Logan, and Lycos will not attack any of the guard because he's on passive. But if he was not on passive, he would just back up Logan, and in this case, you will get your entire squad terminated because guards are really, really strong. So inside city, I would suggest that you put it on passive, or in case you're trying to level up one of your character and you don't want the rest to help him in a fight, you just put the rest on passive. After that, we have jobs. Jobs is great in case if you wanna assign a job, for example, to first aid, or you just want to do, like for example, I have some of my character over here. I just want them to do certain things instead of me watching over them all the time. So for example, I allowed one of my character to be arrow maker. So she's just making arrows at the moment while I'm away from the base. You can assign anything. You just press shift and right click. And then if you toggle this job on and off, if you toggle it off, they will not do it. But if you toggle this on, they will keep working on it. Of course, if you have multiple jobs, you can just drag and assign. And let's say that you have, it's going to go by priority. So whichever at the top is going to go first. After that, you have ranged. In case if you have ranged weapon, which I really, really recommend, then if you toggle range, you'll most likely use the range weapon instead of your melee. If you toggled it off, you'll most likely go with the melee weapon, so your secondary weapon, or if you don't have any weapon, with your fist. And taunt, as I said, taunt and block can be used in really, really good, effective way in battle. So let's say that you have one of your character with a lot of HP. You can press on block and taunt, and this way you will taunt. You will just grab all the attention towards yourself, and then with block you can just withstand for a longer time while the rest of your squad kill every one of them. You will just hold your ground and just be in defense mode. So the best way to use block and taunt is to use them together. And lastly, sneak. Sneak is going to allow you to improve your stealth. Stealth is great because let's say that, for example, some of these guys are looking after me. They would just want to kill me for no reason right now. But anyway, let's say I defeated one of them and I stole his armor and I wore it. If I have high stealth, these people will have hard time detecting me or saying, "Oh, you're not one of our group. You're like an imposter." So this is the great thing about sneak. Other than that, you can sneak into base and steal stuff. So yeah, aside from that, you have rescue. So instead of right clicking on each, by the way, if you want to do any action toward any of your character, you just hold right click and then choose like trade, follow, bodyguard, pick. So if you press rescue, instead of say that I have 5 characters, one of them is injured or like 3 of them injured, instead of pressing the first one, right click, first aid, and so on and so forth, I can just press rescue. Like, I'm sorry, rescue is if they are unconscious on the ground, you press rescue, they will pick him up and then you can run away instead of some animal come and eat him or something like that. Medic is the other, which you will do first aid. Prospect is it's going to tell you more about the land that you're standing. So for example, it's going to tell you the wind speed. So in case if you want to have power, you need to build wind generators. It's the most efficient way. So in this case, this is the speed. Environment, if you want to farm, it's dead, so it's not recommended. Zone, attitude, prospect skill, areas not really needed, so you don't really need to worry about it. Water here says how much water in the area. Of course, you can use WASD to navigate around. Fertility is how fertile the land is. So of course that, so it's just 0, it's not worth it. Stone, it will just show you where the closest stone is. Of course, this is going to take a bit of a time for me to, there we go. So for example, here are some stones, I believe. Yeah, if you just press on it, iron resources. Okay, that's the iron. I guess stone is over here. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, it's all iron, whatever. And you have iron resources. These are the small ones. Of course, you can zoom in to get closer look. So yeah, this should be, I think, copper. If you press on copper, no, it's around here. So yeah, you get the idea. Of course, there's a lot of iron in this area. There's kind of okay amount of iron, and there's no stones, even though it should be, but anyway.